Welcome back to Shy's Big New Who rewatch, where I watch every single episode of New Who, starting with Eccleston, to celebrate the 21 years that it has been back on our screens. So, we are starting with a two-parter because I'm doing like 4 or 5 episodes at a time, like in a sitting. And this is the Cyberman two-parter. I'm probably going to talk about both of them in this part of the video. So, Rose, the Doctor, and Mickey land. The TARDIS kaput. TARDIS is kaput, and the Doctor's like, "Oh no, the TARDIS is dead. Oh, we're in a void. We're in nothingness." Ah! And Mickey looks outside because that's all it takes to look outside. He's like, "We're in London, mate. Chill your beans. Yeah, just chill." So they go and explore, realise that that's a little hell of a lot of Zeppelins in the sky. Hell of a lot of Zeppelins. Rose realises that Pete Tyler is still alive because this is Rose's daddy issues part 1. She realizes that Pete is still alive, him and Jackie are still together. They, for all she knows, are happy. But the other part of the story, because we have the part of the story with Pete being successful, working for Cybers Industries, being one of John Lumick's in people. We then have the Mickey part of the story. Mickey feels like he is forgotten, and he's like, "You're never going to chase after me, are you? No, just always Rose. Never ever Mickey the idiot," which is kind of the theme of his life, to be honest. So he then goes to find his nana, who is the only person that's ever really believed in him, the only person that's ever really been nice to him, not abandoned him. Like, I mean, I know she's dead on like our world, but she's alive. She's alive in this one. But her grandson is called Ricky. So he goes to see her, gets all emotional, and then gets taken away in a van by the preachers. And it's not preachers as in like going out on the street and oh Jesus, second coming. No, they essentially just are, they're basically the rebels. They are fighting against John Lumick and everything that he wants. Now that we've mentioned John Lumick, he is essentially a very sick, dying man and a bit of a weirdo. Bit of a weirdo, can't lie. John Lumick is not a sane man, is he? He's not a sane man. He basically is dying and he wants to cure all ailments. And to do that, he feels that he needs to, cut out all of your organs and put it into a Cyberman body. I love the Cybermen, I really, really do. If you look on my TikTok, you can see that I still have my Cyberman head from like literally about 20 years ago, and it still works. It's like the voice changer one, like absolutely adore it. So he wants to turn everyone into Cybermen because, Cybermen don't get sick. Cybermen don't die. But his most important thing to him is his brain, which is going to become important later. So he is using all of these like little AirPods that everyone is wearing to control their brains and track them and turn them into Cybermen, right? That is his first kind of step towards this whole cyber world that he wants. He's a little fucking weirdo. I've got to say though, as a horror fan, I'm a huge fan of like the equipment that we see like doing all the chopping. We don't see obviously it happening to the body. We just hear the screams and see like the, pizza wheel and like all of that come down. And I'm a huge fan of that. We obviously see that things aren't as good as they look. Pete and Jackie are just on the rocks. Jackie meets Rose and fucking hates her. She hates her. And she's also a little bit up herself in this reality, I can't lie. Yeah, like in every reality, it's like Pete and Rose really, really close. He feels like he knows her, feels like he can trust her. And then with Jackie, just nothing. She just hates her for like what reason? Who knows? So as part of their like infiltration operation, the Doctor and Rose go to Jackie's party, and of all the things they could be, because the psychic paper could make you the fucking Emperor of Mars, do you know what I mean? But he chose waiters. He chose the staff. And, fair enough, you can get in, you can get out, you can, be talking to people and be quite social. But yeah, a bit weird to choose waiters. But yeah, so Mickey gets taken back to like the preacher's headquarters, and they realise that he ain't Ricky. That he's just not Ricky. Because who's there to greet them? Moody little Ricky. He's just, I don't know why he's got such a fucking like cob on. I don't know why. He's just such a moody little bastard. He just can't ever be happy. He can't, like, his nanny's alive, right? Yeah, he can't go back and see her because, he's the most wanted for parking tickets. So when they revealed that, they could have like softened him a little. No, they didn't. They didn't. But I digress. That becomes important later. So they run an operation of like 10 goes below, and then the others are running operations from above and like the middle, right? But unfortunately, we do lose poor, sweet Ricky. Poor little moody Ricky. But Mickey kind of like takes his place with the preachers. But Jake's not happy with that at all. Which, fair enough. If your best mate had just been murdered, and then there's this like clone of him, you'd just be a bit like, well, you're not him. Like, we haven't got the same. I'm mourning my friend. But we see John Lumick turned into the cyber leader, and I love the design for the cyber leader. It's so cool with like the brain exposed. But that is because John Lumick's like biggest thing is his brain. The thing that he has like the emphasis on. He literally says the line, we are all flesh and bone, but it's the brain that makes us human. So that's him keeping his humanity in his mind. And he's like, oh, I'm still as clever and creative as ever, even though he's like literally dying. Also, he could do anything. He could make, he could make himself taller. He could, give himself bigger muscles, whatever. He's still in the chair though. They just made him a little cyber chair. Who knows why he decided to do that? But yeah. So we not only lose Ricky, but we lose Mrs. Moore. And I quite liked her. I think that there could have been, a storyline because Mickey does end up staying, unfortunately, in this parallel world. He takes Ricky's place. Um, yeah, there could have been a storyline of like obviously Mickey taking over Ricky's job, um, with Mrs. Moore and with Jake, but it just ends up being Jake. And yeah, obviously Rose is really, really upset that Mickey decides to stay, and that is, fair enough because they have known each other since they were kids. They've always been really close. But it is always kind of like ambiguous, isn't it? Of like, are they still together or not? Because if we look at like the Margaret Blaine episode where we go visit her in Cardiff, Mickey comes because Rose forgot her passport, which, she didn't. But she forgot her passport and he comes running. He comes running from London to Cardiff and he's like, yeah, I didn't really move on to Trish Delaney. Like, no, I didn't. I couldn't do that to you. And then he, is in the TARDIS for like all of 2 minutes. And then, hey ho, he's moved on. They've moved on past Mickey the Idiot. Yeah, Mickey the Idiot saves the fucking day, right? He saves all of their asses, except Jackie, R.I.P. that world Jackie. Gets turned into a Cyberman. Also, this season, it's very heavy on the Torchwood mentions because on, Tooth and Claw, which I've already mentioned, like, very, very heavy on it. This was very, very heavy on, like, the Torchwood mentions. And then, later on in the other, like, Cybermen and Dalek two-parter, Torchwood, again. And it's very, like, because I know the Torchwood aired in this same year, so it aired in, like, the October. But, like, how heavy-handed have you got to be? Of like, oh, yes, we've got a new show coming out. Yeah, we got a new show coming out. So everyone has to, like, say Torchwood at least 6 times per episode. Fuck off. No. Stop it. No. But yeah, I enjoy this two-parter because I really like the Cybermen, and I think, to be honest, I think we should have seen the Cybermen more than we've seen the Daleks in New Who, because we see the Daleks an awful lot, don't we? It just seems very, like, Dalek heavy. Yeah, I'd like to see, like, more monsters, including the Cybermen. moving on. Let's move on to the Idiot's Lantern. I absolutely love this episode. I feel like it's one of the iconic 10 episodes. So Mickey has been gone for all of 5 minutes, and Rose goes from, he's gone, Mum, to, yeah, let's put on a poodle skirt. Like, what? Where? Whomst? Why? Like, why? But yeah, so she moves on really, really quickly, as if nothing has happened. And, they're just having a nice, whimsical little time now. In the 50s in the UK, and not the 50s in the USA. Because, needed to be for the coronation. So the Doctor is perplexed as to why they're in England for the coronation, but hey ho, he's moving with it. Everyone suddenly has a TV, whereas, Rose was saying, oh, well, they said that they all had to like pile into one house because TVs just weren't really as, they just weren't had. And the Doctor's like, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's a little bit weird. But they start seeing weird shit happening on the streets. They see people being taken away. So they go to speak to the Connolly family, and Eddie Connolly, what a piece of shit. I hate him so much. I feel like Jamie, whose last name is escaping me, who plays Eddie Connolly, I feel like he plays an asshole in a lot of things because he was an asshole in EastEnders. He was one of the Brannin brothers. And yeah, I feel like he is just made to play an asshole. I don't think I've ever seen him act in anything where he's just been like, a nice little chap. But yeah, so he's very much like, yes, I am the man of this house. Rita does exactly what I say, yes. But he definitely gets a slice of humble pie when the Doctor and Rose come into his house because he's like, oh yes, Rita, get the flag up. Get the flag up. And the Doctor's like, you've got hands, Mr. Connolly. Can you not do that? No. And he's like, well, yes, of course. Oh, yes, I'll get the Union Jack up. Rose then obviously has her line because her mum dated a sailor. And yeah, they basically just then sit with their feet up, not really knowing what's going on. They see the Nan. And the faceless people, right, always really creep me out. You can tell that it's a Gatiss episode, right? You know how I said you can tell it's a Moffat episode if it's convoluted or there's like messed up timelines, right? You can tell it's a Mark Gatiss episode if there's some kind of really weird, unnerving creature. So we find out that Mr. Magpie likes being bullied by women in the telly. If he was alive today, check that man's hard drive. But he gets bullied by the wire into getting a telly into every single household in his area. He sells TVs for £5. Just a fiver. And yeah, so everyone can get one. And he's like, yes, I'm doing my bit for the country because the coronation and it's like, no, you just want this nasty woman who, was trying to eat your face. You just want her off your back and you want her to eat everyone else's face. Rose sees the back of the TV. She sees it's Magpie. And as the Doctor is chasing off, chasing these men who have like nabbed Tommy's Nana, who, by the way, is Doris from Gavin and Stacey, which I completely forgot. I was like, Doris? But yeah, anyway, I digress. So the Doctor's chasing them down. Rose goes to confront Magpie and ends up getting her face sucked off. Like, it just, the sadness when David sees, obviously, like, Rose's faceless body. And then again, when he sees her face in the TVs. So, this episode starts off all like, oh yeah, let's have fun in the 50s. And then it ends with like, Rose has no face. Rose has no face. But yeah, so the Wire is just a very, very mean lady who likes sucking people's faces off. And she tries to get Magpie to, put her essence, put her signal on top of like the biggest broadcasting tower so that she can suck off everybody's face in the whole of London. Don't bloody work though, does it? Because the Doctor thwarts her. And like, I can't lie, when we were having like the toy maker story, when we were doing all of that, I kind of wanted there to be an element of The Wire. Like, I can't lie. I wanted there to be like that element. But yeah, I do enjoy Idiot's Lantern. I think it's fun. I think at the end, when Rita's like, "This is my mum's house, get out," I thought that's brilliant. I don't like how just because Rose has a good dead dad, how she says to Tommy, "Yeah, well, he's your dad. Go talk." It's like, no, some people don't deserve redemption. So, like, the doctor has literally said, I'm no second chances. That's what kind of man I am. But, does Rose listen? Nope. So we had a two-parter, a singular episode, and then another two-parter, and then we get two bad episodes and another two-parter. So we are now on the impossible planet. Doctor and Rose are, traversing the galaxy as they tend to do, and they come upon a planet that shouldn't exist. It just shouldn't be there. It's in the edge of a black hole, with everything being pulled in. They come across a ragtag bunch of people. So they're like archaeologists, they're scientists, and they've been working very closely with the Ood. I love the Ood. I love that the Ood are introduced in such a weird story. And their introduction as well is brilliant because it's very much like, oh, okay, here's these weird things going, we must feed, we must feed. And then, give the ball a shake and it's like, we must feed you. Are you hungry? It's like, okay. Because they look very weird. They look very menacing. They're very like, just these big creatures who, have like the linguini coming off of the face. So yeah, we meet a lot of people on this ship, and it's kind of a who's who of Brits, isn't it? I feel like you can't say that you're a British actor from the 2000s unless you've been on Doctor Who. And obviously all of these people can give that a great big tick. But yeah, things start to go a little bit awry. They're like, oh yeah, well, there's this writing on the wall, and no one can really place where it is. They can't translate it. The doctor can't even translate it. And obviously, the TARDIS translates everything like automatically, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't. The doctor, I mean, the TARDIS ends up being lost, thrown down the bottom of a pit, which they then go and have a look in. But yeah, the Doctor and Rose then start talking about like real world things, like, oh, I'd have to settle down. Oh, I'd have to get a mortgage. And Rose is then like, we could share a mortgage. Like, as if, it's the sexiest thing ever going, we could go 50-50 on bills. Like, no, that is just like, why are we romanticizing this? I mean, romanticize more things, but yeah, the sexual tension is sexual tensioning, and anyone saying, oh, there wasn't any romantic elements. Are you blind? Would you like use of my glasses? They're thick. They work very well. So we then see, obviously, this crew react to a lot of bizarre goings on, such as the literal devil, who's like, I am from beyond time. I am from before the universe. And the Doctor obviously starts questioning a lot of it because he's like, yeah, no way, no way. There's been loads of devils throughout all religions. Which one are you then? And he's like, I'm literally the one. I am the devil from the Bible. But yeah. And then Toby starts acting mightily weird, if I do say so myself. He starts acting a bit strangely. It's like, does Toby have schizophrenia? Or like, yeah, is he just a bit of an odd duck? No, possessed. Possession is the answer. Possession is not always the answer, but possession is the answer that we are looking for this one. But yeah, I really like this two-parter because it's different. It's also the first appearance of the orange, like suit thing, like the orange space suit that we see, which becomes iconic, which I'll get into later. My headcanon of like what happened to it afterwards. But yeah, the Doctor really, really likes those suits. So much so that I think he decided to keep one. But yeah, we'll move on to like the next part. now. So, looks like the sun went down before my very eyes while I was filming that. So, yes, here is the last part. And oh my god, I'm in light. So yeah, we are now moving on to the Satan Pit, which is the second part of that two-parter. So as I said, the Doctor really likes that orange suit. Really, really likes it, so much so that he uses it several incarnations. So my headcanon is that either he stole a bunch of them, or he took his, and then in his little wardrobe department that we see um in the Christmas Invasion when he's like picking his new outfit, he takes it in there and he copies it. It has some kind of copying material, or the Doctor can sew. Who knows? That's kind of my headcanon anyway, that he took them and, reworked them, or just took a bunch because he had enough companions sort of in later seasons. So Satan has a SIM card, apparently, because he's able to, like, give him a little ring and be like, you're gonna die in a war, and like all of that kind of stuff. So the Doctor decides to go and explore what is going on outside. They come across a seal, like a big seal, and I am a firm believer it's the same as when you see like videos on TikTok of like people being like, oh, I found this box and it's got a pentacle on it and it's wax sealed. It's like, put it back. Put it the fuck back. Put it back. Because, do we really want to, like, mess with that? Like, no, we don't want to mess with that. What we want to do is we want to put it back. We want to put it back. We want to essentially not do anything with it. We want to put it back where we found it. So with this big fuck off seal, which is clearly holding something, we maybe want to just leave it alone. No, we don't want to leave it alone. We want to open it. Okay. So the Doctor and one of the crewmates are like, oh yeah, let's go out and see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Like, Ida is very much like, okay, well, we're gonna have to abseil. So the Doctor is then talking to her about religion while, like, he is about to essentially cut the cord while he's abseiling, and going down to his own doom, really. So he's like, oh, well, what do you believe? And she's like, oh, well, this is what I believe. And he's like, well, if he had said that he came from, the start of the universe, I would have said, yeah, fine, whatever. It's because he said he was older than the universe. That's not possible. This is impossible, but this is an impossible planet. So, again, giving us the romantic blue balls that he loves to give us. 10 is just there like, well, if you catch Rose again, like if she calls again, then tell her, oh, she knows. Do we want to fuck off with the romantic blue balls, please? Please, Doctor Who, please. We don't need that. We do not need it. Because realistically, this is the first time he does it, and then the second time is Rose Tyler, and then he, like, fades into, yeah. Because he can't just say how he feels. He can't ever just say how he feels. God forbid the Doctor has feelings for the little blonde companion. So it is revealed that Toby has been possessed, but not before he manages to get into, like, the air vents with Danny and with Rose. And, they're going through. Zach is making sure that they can get through. They've unfortunately lost a good couple of people at this point, and yeah, these three are fully alive. They're fine, and then yeah, as they're getting away, because they managed to strap themselves in and start the getaway. As they're doing that, it is revealed that Toby may or may not have been possessed by the literal devil, because the Doctor goes down to the Satan Pit and finds, like, the actual devil, and he's like, "You're just the body, though. Like, there's nothing going on upstairs." Much like much of Russell T Davis's most recent writing. But yeah, he's like, well, where's the rest of you? Like, where's your consciousness? Where's your brain? Where's the intelligence? Like, you're literally supposed to be, this evil super being. Like, where's that? because you're just kind of a shell that's kind of going. Because I don't know what it is about, like, like the shell of the devil, like the beast. He just kind of like sways menacingly. I don't know what it is. It just, to me, yeah. So he figures out that it's Toby, unfortunately. And yeah, one thing leads to another, and everyone's safe. Mostly everyone's safe. And the Doctor and Rose get to once again fly away. And then we get a Doctor Light episode in the next episode. Can you tell that I'm really not looking forward to watching Fear Her and Love and Monsters? I'm putting it off. I've been putting it off. Like, this is why I've put off season 2. This is why there's been such long breaks between me doing like videos for season 1 and videos for season 2 over on here and my TikTok. I do need to upload them to Instagram as well. Think about it. But yeah, that is why there's been such a long break, because I don't want to look at the Absorber Love. But I've committed to doing this whole Big New Who rewatch, so I will suffer. Yeah, I will suffer. Pray for me. But yeah, if you like spooky stuff, nerdy stuff, whether it's Doctor Who, horror, Red Dwarf, Lego, like anything spooky, weird, or nerdy, I'm probably into it. So stick around.